We're here with Amy Mortier at her gorgeous sprout booth here at S.P.A.C.E Market, where she's here every Saturday. And her sprouts are being grown with structured water with Clayton Nolte structured water unit. And so we're going to have a little conversation today with Amy about her sprouts and her use of structured water. So you knew about structured water before you got here?
I did.
Now, how did you get into that?
Well, originally I was living in a community called Terrasante, and there was a woman there named Victoria White who was a distributor of the units and using them on this fantastic garden that she had in the middle of the desert, an oasis. I mean, it was just like scrubby mesquite trees around, and then she was watering her fruit trees with structured water, and we'd get pounds of fruit. Wow. And all the other trees on the property would just get like a few pieces of fruit. And I just really loved her, and she started telling me about it, and she actually had a meeting at her house with Clayton Nolte. The next winter, I ended up relocating and living in an area of Tucson that just had chlorinated water. So, you know, and my roommate at the time was like, you can't drink this water, this is horrible, this is like, you know, you got to buy bottled water, this is really bad water. And, you know, you could taste the chlorine, it was really nasty, it had just not a good energy to it at all. So, but I didn't have a unit, so I started growing the sprouts anyways, just to see what would happen. And I definitely noticed that the sprouts tasted like chlorine, they didn't look as vibrant. And even my customers noticed that because when I switched to the structured water unit, I definitely got remarks from my customers that they looked better and tasted better. So that was how that started for me, and I was very impressed because, you know, even the water itself, when I would drink it, I couldn't taste the chlorine anymore.
So you were actually drinking the water that came out of the faucet?
Right. I was running it through a garden unit and drinking it.
So when you came over here, you just brought your unit with you.
I did.
And you've been on catchment water?
Yes, yeah. You know, coming to Hawaii was a whole different situation with water too. That I never used catchment before, and so I was really happy to have the unit. And I talked with Victoria a lot about it, and I was like, "Are you sure it's okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." And there's plenty of people that use catchment and with a structured water unit. So I did, and the sprouts have just been coming out beautiful, and I know that a lot of people have trouble growing these sprouts and greens here because people come to me all the time and say they mold and rot and they can't grow them, and I know part of it is where you're located here. You know, if you're in a really rainy area, it's harder to grow, but I still feel that I've been very successful with this, and I feel that the structured water unit is a part of that. And I've also drank catchment water myself, just running it through my garden unit. I feel that I wouldn't be without it.
Yeah.
You know, and I also, the kind of feedback that I get from people about the wheatgrass and the greens and everything is that, you know, they say my wheatgrass is sweeter than any wheatgrass they've ever had here, and I don't add any fertilizer or anything to it.
Yeah.
I'm just using the soil and the water and the seed. That's all I'm doing. You know, so I feel that the water is a big part of it.
Thank you, Amy, for joining me today and sharing your wisdom and your insight and everything that's going to be just so helpful for all of us to add wonder and consciousness to our life.
Thank you.
I'm sharing this because I feel utterly shocked. I looked at my refrigerator and I went underneath in a drawer and I found these sprouts here. These are sprouts that were grown with structured water, and I put some structured water in them. These sprouts tomorrow will be 3 weeks old. Look at them. They're totally still edible. I can't believe this. And they're a little brown on the tips, but these are totally edible. I mean, totally 3-week-old sprouts that I got at S.P.A.C.E. Market on Saturday 3 weeks ago tomorrow.